I would pick them up from the street.
Why do you think this way that it leads to assaulting women? Why did you choose children?
Why are children the victims? Which children did you choose?
Because this was done to me when I was a child.
Be more specific. Explain further.
How old were you? Who did it? When?
Amir. I mean, in childhood, well, I was forcibly assaulted.
Just like that. Did this lead you to assault other children?
Why?
Do you mean after you endured it, you wanted other children to feel the same?
These images from the early days of May 2025 were first published in official media and then quickly became the top trend on social networks. Everyone was talking about a young man who had been assaulted in his childhood and was a victim himself.
But now, those grudges and resentments have ignited within him, and like a monster, he has infiltrated the city and assaulted dozens of young boys.
Hello friends, welcome to the Confession channel.
You are watching and listening to another case, Orna, from our series Jalab videos. The shocking dimensions and details of the case of Amir, known as the hyena of Tehran, the perpetrator of assaults on 12 to 300-year-old boys.
If you are interested in confession reports from criminal cases, we would be delighted.
Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell next to it so you don't miss new videos.
In the video reports made about this tragedy, the police forces and the judiciary were repeatedly praised and thanked for being able to catch this suspect so that he could finally be tried and punished. But it's worth knowing that this monster was first arrested 9 years ago on the same charge, namely rape and assault.
And if his case had been properly handled and followed up, and an effective verdict had been issued, he wouldn't have been able to so easily return to society and bring this terrible calamity upon dozens of other children.
To gain a proper understanding of this case, and before we examine the dark details of the serial crimes of this 27-year-old, we need to go back 9 years to 2016, where Amir was first arrested on the charge of forced assault, which constitutes rape.
However, he was not dealt with harshly or appropriately, and he only spent a short time in prison.
And when he got out of prison, he had become a monster set on destroying the lives of young boys.
Amir, you are accused of child abuse.
You mentioned in your talk that this was done to you in your childhood as well. Can you explain it to us? Yes, in my childhood, a close relative, whom I don't want to name, did this to me. How old were you? Maybe 11 or 12 years old. Then did you decide to take revenge on other kids your age when you grew up? It can't be called revenge. It just stayed in my mind. This same person whose words you heard and who is now arrested for assaulting young boys was brought in front of the camera in 2016. When he was only 17 years old, he found another teenage boy in Tehran's Daneshju Park, forcibly and threateningly took him home and assaulted him multiple times. The boy filed a complaint, leading to court proceedings and legal actions. The complainant claimed that Amir assaulted him, but Amir denied it, stating that their relationship was consensual. Ultimately, the case was in a very delicate state, and the judge was not convinced to rule it as assault. Amir was only sentenced to 5 years in prison for the charge of kidnapping. You were arrested once before in 2016 for this reason, right? Yes, in 2016. Well, wasn't that enough for you? What happened that made you want to repeat this action? It just happened again? I was led astray by the devil once more? After receiving his sentence in 2016, Amir initially spent some time in the Juvenile Correction Center and then was sent to the main prison hall. However, in 2021, his sentence ended and he was released. What happened to an 18-year-old boy who went to prison for rape during the 5 years he was incarcerated is unclear. But exactly from the time he was released, the crimes started again. But this time, he was no longer an 18-year-old boy going to places like Daneshju Park looking for peers his own age. This time, he targeted 12 to 13-year-old boys. He dressed in clothes resembling those of municipal patrol officers, equipped himself with a baton and other gear that officers carry, and rode a motorcycle around the city to hunt for his victims in secluded areas. This criminal, although he only confessed to 5 cases of assault, had over 20 videos of assaults on young boys found on his phone, with him being the perpetrator in all the videos. He claims that he would deceive the children and they wouldn't make a sound, but this shameless individual. The drink that was laced with a sedative was given to the victims, so that when the assault occurred, the children would not have the strength to resist. The children you found, you would approach them wearing regular municipal clothes. Would they resist you? Very much, because I would deceive them. You would deceive them? Yes, and then you would also take photos and videos of them and then release them back in the same place? Yes, I would take them back to their homes. Why did you take those photos and videos? Was it for you to watch later or to publish somewhere? I didn't publish them anywhere. I had posted them on Telegram in a private storage. So what was the reason you were taking videos of yourself? I was taking them for myself. More than 20 different boys' assault videos were found on the perpetrator's phone, all of whom appeared to be lethargic and weak, as if they had been drugged. He found all his victims from various neighborhoods in the south and southeast of Tehran and brought this dark and ominous fate upon them. The investigator and the judge on the case believed that he certainly had more victims, or the children did not inform their families out of fear. Or perhaps the families, out of fear of losing their reputation, covered up this tragedy and did not pursue it legally. Even the last victim did not come forward to file a complaint, and it was only through the hospital staff's report that the police were informed. A 12-year-old boy in critical physical condition was transferred to one of the hospitals in southeast Tehran. The hospital staff, after observing signs of assault, informed the police. The police, by reviewing the CCTV footage from the location where the child was abducted, identified and arrested the perpetrator of this heinous crime. The police were notified, and it was reported that signs of assault were observed on a young child. Immediately, the detectives from the department were tasked with their inherent duty to investigate the matter thoroughly and ensure the case is handled with due diligence. Thankfully, with the comprehensive and round-the-clock efforts of the detectives from Department 16, we were able to apprehend the perpetrator in the shortest possible time, as you have observed and heard the confessions. And 5 individuals have been arrested so far. The accused has confessed to assaulting children under the age of 15. We request all citizens, Shashas, considering the documents and images found on the accused's mobile phone as per our judicial order, to come forward if they have been subjected to this method of abuse. Rest assured, their information and identity will be kept confidential. They will be protected from the police, refer to it, and their complaint does not have a criminal trial. The continuation of this serial assault is 99% certain with the evidence obtained so far. But naturally, due to the possibility of more complainants, the case remains open, so that if there are any other complainants, they can be added to the case. The main reason they brought him in front of the camera with an open face is to find the remaining complainants. Thank you for staying with us up to this moment. Please share your opinions with us at the bottom of this page. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so to support us in our activities.